All right, I think we're on. So welcome to the second week of our leadership group. I know that a couple folks are going to be coming on. Martha said she's going to be coming on late, and Betsy, it looks like, is somehow buzzing in here. Let me see here if I can see everybody on gallery. There we go. All right, well, last week, as you know, we talked about goals, and we talked about the importance of defining these goals and trying to get past goals being A, something that we're scared of, or B, something that is really more of a strategy than an actual goal. So I want to thank everybody who has posted their goals, and I appreciate y'all working through the process of trying to narrow that down to something really tangible, something that you can really wrap your mind around, or get your teeth into here in this next 12 months. And I would love to see the rest of your goals added to that post. So last week I had 3 separate posts. I won't typically have that many, but we had some different things. I'm looking for people's some kind of heart picture with your pledge, the goals, and there's a third thing which I'm drawing my blanking on, but go back and read it. And I'd love to hear when I'm doing these videos, I would love to hear people's feedback. Hi Betsy, hi Cindy. I would love after the call is over for you to, when I put up the video, to give me feedback of what was helpful on what you learned this week. So don't forget to post your goals, post your pledge, look at all 3 of those follow-up posts from last week. Also, I wanted you to know the other reason why I want you to comment on the video is it helps me know, for those of you especially who are watching the recording later, it lets me know that you've caught this week's information. It's a bit of an accountability thing, and it helps us know who's investing and being involved. So please make sure you do those things. It helps me, and it helps me know how to support you, especially when you share your comments or you ask your questions. So thank you very much. One of the things I want you to do now is to, down along the bottom of your Zoom, turn on your chat if you haven't done that before. It'll be a little window that pops up to the right if you're on your laptop. If you're on your cell phone, you would have to toggle back and forth, and you can just forego it if that's the case. But if you're on your laptop, because I'm going to have you respond to a couple questions here. So today we're going to talk about strategy, our strategy tool for achieving our goals, and that's our compensation plan. So in the chat, I'm going to ask you to respond to my question, and my question's really about your exposure to the comp plan prior to this call. And you don't have to feel bad if you have to say, I've never looked at it before in my life, didn't know where to find it until I printed it off for this. Or maybe you say, this is true for me. I use the comp plan all the time. I'm really familiar with it. So I want you to rate your statement on how true it is for you over in the chat. So here's my statement. I use the compensation plan confidently as a blueprint for my success in my Trades of Hope business. 1 would be completely false. 10 would be 100% true for me. So go ahead and just put that on the side. Nobody has to feel bad. I didn't look at it for a long time. I'll tell you about that in a minute. So. All right, looks like we're getting a little bit of a range here. That's good. All right, well, I appreciate you contributing. All right, Michaela, that's where I was when I first started with the company. So my hope is by the end of this call, or at least by the end of this week, that you would actually be able to rate yourself a 9 or a 10. because of the conversation that we have here today, and because you then go in and dig around in the comp plan and start to engage it. And my hope is that this will become the compensation plan. Using it will be a part of the strategy in your success. So when I've been reading this book, as I've told y'all, I've been doing this Be a Direct Selling Superstar. The director's team is using this book, and I've been really grateful for it because it's helpful, it's practical, and the information in it has been immediately applicable. So it's by Mary Christensen, and we have been having some rich conversation about it among the director's team, and it's really been shaping my thoughts, which if you go and read the book at some point, you'll be like, oh, that's where Shelby got all these ideas for her videos, at least the first couple. So this book is about the industry that we're a part of. And so over my time with Trades of Hope, my feelings about the direct sales industry has grown and has grown in a more positive way, especially in terms of how Trades of Hope approaches being a direct sales company. So when I was considering joining, one of the big drawbacks for me about Trades of Hope was that it was part of the direct sales industry. And what I have not in the past been interested in is how much the direct sales industry has really been about me. And I've seen a lot of greed in people's lives that I knew who were in it. And so that was a piece that was a distraction for me when joining Trades of Hope. But I've come to learn over time, as I've engaged my business in Trades of Hope, I've come to see that there is a lot of beauty in the direct sales world, and that the business model is really limitless. In direct sales, there's no gender gaps. There's no gender inequality. A woman can make as much or more than a man. It doesn't matter. There's no glass ceiling that we have to try to break through. And I love that about Trades of Hope and being a part of this. There's unlimited potential regardless of your age, your class, your gender, or your education. I've read stories about people who didn't make it through high school who have really, really successful direct sales businesses. And I have a master's degree, right? So we're in equal footing. It really doesn't matter. It's really about working the business. Working the business. And I love that the direct sales world this industry fits so many people in so many different ways. So you can be still working full time and have a side hustle that affects you and your family in a positive way. It could be done in a small scale. Maybe this is something that you do because you want to get out of your house, or you want to get to know the people in your community better. Or you can do something on a really large level, and you can have, you could be someone like a Jess Argetsinger, who's a national director who has over 1,000 people on her team she's working in concert with to affect truly global change. And there's some of the advantages about being a part of a direct sales company is it's easy. It's easy to join. You just have to be 18, and you have to be able to afford the kit of whatever company you're joining with. But it's also easy to leave a direct sales company because you aren't punching a time clock. You don't have a boss. You don't have an authority figure that you are having to be accountable to. Being a part of a direct sales company and being successful is really all about you. It's about being internally and intrinsically motivated. Nobody can make you do this. As much as some days I think, how is it that people aren't working their business? I love what I'm doing with Trades of Hope, but it is personally, internally motivating for me to empower people out of poverty and to be able to do a dignified work to provide for my family. Like, those are the things that drive me, but that drives me. It doesn't drive everybody. And I enjoy being my own boss. I love the flexibility. I love the freedom that comes with it. So in terms of direct sales, your experience and your success is really based on three things. No matter what company it is, it's about the plan, the product, and the people. And most of us choose a company based on the, most of us who join Trades of Hope as a direct sales company, I should say, have chosen it based on the products and the people or the mission. Because Trades of Hope has kind of a unique take in the world of direct sales. We aren't just selling stuff, we're changing people's lives at the same time. But the thing that I always want to be mindful of is we're not necessarily better than any other company. While our purpose may feel unique, and it is, and rich, I'm grateful for companies like Tupperware and Avon who have plowed this path for us to be able to do this kind of work. The folks who really laid a groundwork for it. I'm also grateful that we have the founders that we have who decided they wanted to do this in a bigger way. They didn't just want to sell stuff, but they wanted to be about transforming people's lives. And the thing is, as unique as we are and as beautiful as our mission is, we are not immune from the industry standards that are out there. So in terms of turnover or easy in, easy out, we have the same problems that other companies have. Just because we have a mission doesn't mean everybody chooses to invest in it. And you're going to see that as you grow your team. I've had well over 100 people be on my team. I need to go back at some point and count. But currently we have 88 people. In fact, when I started this group 2 weeks ago, we had 96 people on the team. But 8 people fell off in the last week because they deactivated. So that's just the reality of it. And this book was really helpful for me in saying not everybody invests the way you invest. They don't believe in it or they don't make the time for it. Even if they believe in it, they just might not make the time for it like you do. So while I think that we are unique in our mission and that we are impacting more people than just ourselves and our own personal bank accounts, the reality is not everybody is going to necessarily get this. People may choose to join your team and then leave your team too, and it's going to have nothing to do with you, hopefully, most likely. It's really going to be about their level of internal investment. So if you didn't choose Trades of Hope because of the comp plan, that is okay. But I do want you to know it's a third of your business. That's the plan. This is why people choose to stay with a direct sales company. And it really has to be all three: the plan, the product, and the people. That's what makes folks go long-term with companies like Trades of Hope. So for me, when I was joining, I was 100% invested in choosing Trades of Hope because of the people and the product. I loved our mission, and I loved wearing the fingerprints of artisans, right? Really special and endearing. I had to have that Julia necklace really quick back when I joined. I needed to wear her around my neck, a little piece of her around my neck. But I will be honest, I ignored the compensation plan for 9 months because I didn't want to be like one of those direct sales people. And that's my attitude, and those are things I've had to repent of. And some of that came from I have technically joined another company before Trades of Hope. I joined Young Living to use their products. And while I had a few people like Cindy technically joined under me, I never used it as a business plan because right away my experience and my team, I wasn't real impressed with how everybody was like, it's about making diamond and platinum and having these luxury trips and luxury car, and all that just made me want to throw up. It really felt icky. And in that status and stuff. And I really felt like, and I can say like, I'm still technically on that team because I'm buying my oils for my fibromyalgia every month. And I hear nothing from that person, you know, that signed me on, or the upline person at all. I can write them and ask them questions, but there's no relationship for me because I'm not performing. If I was performing, it would be different. And I can see that from the group that I'm in, where I go and get some questions answered about oils from time to time. But I chose to do Trades of Hope because I loved changing people's lives. And at the beginning too, the comp plan, I don't know if this was the way for you, but it felt confusing. It sort of read to me like a insurance plan. Like, I don't do great with those things. I need somebody to break it down. So did anyone feel this way about the Trades of Hope compensation plan? Share in the chat. It's not going to hurt my feelings if you didn't like it or you ignored it. What was your thoughts on that? Because everybody has their, you know, some people come into these things maybe with experience. Some people maybe just have been like, were like me, maybe like an ostrich, just stuck your head in the sand, ignoring it. So any thoughts there? You liked it, but you'd done direct sales before, so you knew what to ask for. Ashley, that's great. Yep, she was with another company, Sensi, right? I think it was Sensi, yeah. And Cindy said she had to figure some things out. Oh, when the real numbers came, when it started to show up. Oh, thanks, Nancy. I'm glad to hear you thought this was the best one to understand. This is the second compensation plan that Cindy and I are working with. The company came out with this one last summer, a year ago, and a lot of us feel like it's a lot more user-friendly. Well, I wasn't, like I said before, I wasn't building a business based on the compensation plan in the first 9 months I was at the company. So I was there with probably like many of you. You don't like numbers, so you never looked at it, Betsy. Yeah, like I just, you know, everybody, we kind of have our thing sometimes that dissuades us. But my focus changed as I saw the greater impact I was having when I had 4 women on my team. So I joined in March. Cindy and Abby and Melody joined within 2 months of me joining. Then maybe 6 months later almost, Courtney joined, and one girl, Adrienne, joined under her. And it was really in the fall when we were all selling, because it was an easy time of the year to sell. And I began doing this work with other people who started actively engaging it, because really the first 6 months or so that I was with the company, while I had some people under me, I was still the one primarily selling. And then as in the fall, when it was easier to have parties, the girls started to sell. And I started seeing the impact of what it was like to do this with others, both in artisans' lives and in my life. And, you know, I talk about this from time to time, that in the fall of 15, that I sold around $14,000 just by myself. And, but together in the fall of 1 month last year, November of last year, I'm sorry, in the November of 15, I sold about $6,700. I think it was 6,000, something like that. And then a year later, we as a group sold $68,000. I could have never done that by myself, right? Not if I worked all day and all night. There's not enough people who'd party with me those crazy hours to have those kind of sales. So I realized I was having a bigger impact with others on my team. And Russ and I started having conversations about what this would mean and how I was considering shifting my focus, because I started talking about how I wanted to leave full-time social work and to be freed up to do more at home and around the globe through my Trades of Hope business, because I saw what we could do together. So I went back and ran some numbers last night. And I don't have my numbers for 2015 because I didn't save spreadsheets and things like that back then. But what I can tell you is in 2016, as a team, we sold collectively $173,725 as a team last year. In the first 8 months of this year, we have sold $188,754,000, right? I see Betsy saying, wow. Like, and we haven't even gotten into the big selling season yet, girls. So I'm excited about what that number is going to look like. I mean, who knows? We could sell as a team, you know, $300,000 this year. Who knows? I mean, right, Cindy? So, so what I want you to think about is that imagine all those bracelets and necklaces and earrings all lined up that we sold in this, let's just say in this 8 months this year. And then imagine our 13,000 artisans standing behind those products. First of all, imagine their pride to see all the stuff that they made that we had sold. It's in those moments, I have to say, considering the compensation plan and engaging it is not selfish. It's not selfish at all. When I'm successful, she's successful. I did not anticipate getting all overclumped here this morning. Good Lord. But that was powerful for me to consider that, you know. But here's the thing. Success doesn't come without strategy. We have to have some kind of blueprint. And we see that. We look at successful people around the world, throughout history. They had a plan. And so this is your unselfish act, I believe, is to learn and implement the compensation plan. And then to go on and teach this to others so they do the same thing. By engaging the compensation plan, you have to know, it allows you to know what you're aiming for. And have fun with it. Like, the compensation plan should not be a burden, but it really should be a joy, because it's not a burden. It's not our goal, but it's our strategy. It's our tool. It's our map. So enjoy it. Enjoy the journey. And I have to say, when I was hitting master and manager, I was gleefully surprised when those things were happening. Cindy can attest to this, and Russ. I'd be like, oh my gosh. I remember master. All of a sudden, I was like a week out, and I was like, I think I'm going to get a promotion. Oh my word. We just need these couple little things to be tweaked. And I was giggling. And I remember just thinking how fun that was. So at the end, I'm going to ask you to engage the compensation plan in a fun way this week. So be ready for that. So let's talk about it. So we've got our front sheet here, and we're going to come back to this in a quick minute. But I want to start with you. So your personal retail volume. So as a CE, you really can create, for the most part, the amount of money that you want. Pam gave an example. You want to earn, $12,000. Well, then you have to sell $48,000 worth of product this year. Now, that's a lot of parties, but it's doable, right? Because you earn 25% off of everything you sell. And now automatically goes right into that e-wallet. You get paid immediately, and then you can cut your checks as you would like. And this 25% is off of the 100% price. So if something costs $40, then you're going to make 25% of that. You're going to make, oh goodness, I should have picked an easier number. You're going to make $8.50 off of that. So, or $10 off of that. That's a quarter of it. And so everything you're seeing on your replicated website, your catalog, things like that, all of that is that price, that main PRV price that you're going to be paid 25% off. So this may be common knowledge for a lot of you, but that's new, maybe new information for others. And then, whoops, let me flip this here. The next thing is your group retail. So your GRV, and your GRV, this is a little bit out of order, but it'll make sense later. So your GRV is you and your team and anyone who may at some point come onto your team and the people under your first and second generation directors. So I wanted to point this out because you never lose people just because they grow up in rank. I'm technically still under Erica, and she, she reaps the benefits of investing in me by through my work as a director and having my own team. But as you become a director, then you have your own team. So this is kind of the way we look, except there's more dots. So when it comes to your TRV, that number that you'll see on the page is everything that everyone in your team sold except you. So when someone, like I said, when I become a director, my group volume does not show up anymore. My group volume does not count for Erica's team volume. But and the good thing about this is as we grow, then I can't just rely and sit back like a fat cat and take in just everything that my team does. This pushes me to continue to grow my business. And like I said, you can have as many personal sign-ons. There's no limits. I guess there's some companies that you have limits of how many you can bring on as personal sign-ons. I don't know enough about the industry. But for Trades of Hope, that's not a limit for us. You could have 1,000 personal sign-ons and then everybody under them. So, and then the branch retail volume, and this is something that as you grow your team, you're going to spend a lot of time looking at and considering, because it is your branch retail volume that and the group retail volume that helps you move up in the compensation plan. So the branches, this really about, I wrote on mine here, growing branches. You can think about this as a tree. As I invest in people, new branches are blossoming. And so I can give a concrete example of how investing in your branches changes the direction of your compensation plan. Last fall, I had to be able to reach director. I had to have one manager, and that manager had to have 5 qualifying branches and a total sales of $10,000. Well, Courtney was the person in line to become a manager, and Courtney had she had 4 branches that qualified, and she was over the $10,000 mark because it was November and that was easy. And it was that last branch that when that last branch hit $1,000, then that was going to be the big game changer. And that last branch was Michaela. Michaela and Mandy together hit over $1,000 actually that month. And the moment that $1,000 mark was met, Courtney bumped up to manager, I bumped up to director, and Erica bumped up to executive director because of Michaela and Mandy's efforts in November last year. So that's an example of how, like, we're doing this together. We're all rising up together, and that we really can impact and involve, because we had done, for Courtney, she had met all those other benchmarks. She'd been working it. She'd been selling her part. She'd been encouraging people, working with folks like Michaela. But it was really as that came together, that was such a nice crystal example for me of how this branch volume. So when you're working with your team, you look at that person who's personally sponsored. And so like Michaela now has a number of girls that are starting to be under her. And so that's her team. But it's her branch that Courtney is going to be looking at to see what's their performance going to be like in terms of meeting those compensation benchmarks. So as you have more branches, then you have more people that you can work with to help you achieve the goals that you and they want to achieve together. Because as you all grow your teams, then that helps your sponsors and also be able to grow their impact also. So going back to the first page of the compensation plan, the first the first 5 ranks on the compensation plan. So that would be qualified CE through manager. These are all lifetime secured ranks. So as soon as you achieve that rank, you will always have that as your title. You may not always be paid at that, but you cannot lose that rank of qualified CE through manager CE. That's yours for a lifetime. Now from director and up, these have annual benchmarks, and we have to meet these goals twice a year consecutively. So for me, I have not hit director this year. I've been hitting manager consistently. But for me to hit director and be a director in 2018, then that means I'm going to have to, with our team, hit these benchmarks 2 months in a row. So for me, it's either going to have to be September, October, October, November, or November, December. So, and that's really just, again, so we don't kind of sit back, but we continue to be working hard to grow our business. So you can read under the rank requirements. At each rank, it has different, starting with lead. You have your own personal retail volume of $300 minimum that you have to sell to be able to achieve that rank and to get paid at that rank. And then you have a certain number of branches that have to hit $1,000 or more, depending on which rank you're striving for. And so let's talk about advanced CE, because I think that was kind of a sweet spot for me. And it gets some action here on the chart. So $300, I went into I came after 15, I was an ace when I went to Fearless. So I was selling over $300,000 a month. I had 2 branches that were selling at $1,000 or more in the month. So for me then, that was Abby, who was really Courtney, and Cindy. And then I had to have a group volume. So it means everything that we sold had to be at $1,500 or more. I'm sorry, not $1,500, $2,500 or more. 2 branches or more at $1,000, and then $2,500. So when you hit that, everybody, as you can see on the compensation, everyone's base commission never changes, but you get a rank bonus once you hit advanced CE. So what that means is if you're getting paid this month as an advanced CE, you're actually going to make 28% off of everything you sold that month instead of just 25%. Plus, the company's going to send you a one-time $50 bonus check the first time you hit that. So if you don't hit that for a few months and then you hit it again, you're not going to get that bonus check again. It's just the very first time. And it's really when you have the opportunity to begin earning 3% off of your this first level would be your personal sign-ons. Second level would be anybody they signed on. And so that 3% and 2%, that does not come off of those teammates' PRV that shows up in your spreadsheet. Rather, that's based on the wholesale. That's based on 70% of their PRV. That was confusing me at first, because when I first hit some of these marks, I was like, why am I not getting paid more? But they've already paid out the commission. That 30% is the commission. So now they're going to pay you for those, the generations on 70% of what they actually sold. So if you sell $1,000 in a month and your sponsor's an advance, she's going to earn the 3% off of 70% of what you sold, actually 700 of what you sold. So, and then as you get to the director level, you'll see that you have larger ranks You have larger bonuses, which is fun. We redid all the floors on the second floor of our house because of the rank bonus that I got last year. That was fun. Then I'm earning off of 3 generations below me. Then you get a team bonus when you hit that. That means that everything your entire team sells, they give you an additional 1%. And then your first generation. So like for me, I don't have a director under me, but if I had a director, then I would also get a bonus off of what my director's team sold, my 1.5%. And again, that keeps us motivated to keep reaching out and working with our team. So one of the things I like about the compensation plan is that if you want to raise, you don't have to get all dressed up in your fancy suit and make an appointment to go see your boss and go in and have that uncomfortable conversation, especially as a woman, to ask for a raise. If you want to raise, you can do this because you're a boss girl. You are your own boss. So when you want to raise, you can just make that happen. You don't have to ask somebody. So, let me see here. Let me flip. Where's my last note? So I'm hoping that by going through this, and would be happy to talk to you individually in more detail if that would be helpful for you. But what I would like you to do next is to spend some time looking at the compensation plans. If you have any questions, post them. I'm going to post this video. Post them in that thread under the video because I'd like to, or if you, let me see, does anybody have anything over here? Was that for 1 month, meaning you have to stay at that level to maintain? I didn't see that pop up in the timing of it, Betsy. Let me unmute you and see. What were you, did you get your answer? You got your answer? Okay. So what I'd like you to do now is to rate over on the side. What's your thoughts on the compensation plan now that we've talked a little bit through this and kind of broke these things down a little bit in terms of your comfortability with it? Is the number the same? Is it higher? Give me a little feedback over there, what you think. Okay, all right. Well, what I want you to do this week is I want you to spend some time with it. Post your questions to the video thread if you have more detailed questions, or reach out to me. I'd be happy to chat with you about it. The second is I would like you to spend some time deciding where on this compensation plan do you need to be to help you meet your goal. So again, this is your blueprint. This is your strategy. So I know based on, and I will try to post this, there's a document that Pam shared last year that talks about what each level's base salary is. So Cindy has a copy of it right there. Yep. So I have it on my email and I can post this to the page. It helps you understand, like, a base salary for a director is about $44,000. That's like the lowest. And then executive is $72,000 and national executive is $122,000. That's currently based on the information that she assessed last year. So, but I think manager 16,000 and it goes down from there. So I'll post that also for you to take a look at and be able to determine what rank do you need to achieve to be able to meet your goal that you set last week, your 12-month goal. And then what I want you to do is I want you to highlight that line, and I want you to take a picture of yourself or maybe a picture with you and your family. And I want you to put this on your refrigerator or your kitchen window or wherever it is that you're going to be able to look at this regularly, right above your computer, if that's going to be the spot. So do you have, it's your map, right? You have this thing that you're working towards so that you're mindful of how it is that you're going to work with your team to help your team grow their impact and therefore help you meet so that you can meet the goals that you want. And it's really going to, it's where helping people qualify and move up in their own business is so important as a leader, CE, is that when I am helping people qualify to be able to hit that first $1,000 and above, and as they start seeing their own promotions and they feel that sense of pride, then I'm making investments in them that's going to help them continue to invest in artisans and their business. And that's also an investment for me in my long-term success, because my goal, as you know, is to be able to make as much or more than what I make as a master level social worker in the next year. So, and I think that that's doable if I continue to invest in my own business. I'm partying, booking, I'm doing everything a brand new CE is doing, and as I invest in the girls on my team. So thanks so much for coming on today's call. Post those pictures of you or you and your family. Show me where you're going to be sharing that or keeping that up as a reminder. And as soon as this video is ready from Zoom, I'll post it so that you can review it and then also make the comments if you have any questions. All right? All right, ladies. Hope this was helpful. Thanks so much for coming on today. Sorry this one went a little longer because I had to think a little bit harder about how to get not just inspiration, but some content, some strategy here around this. All right, look forward to talking to you soon. Bye now.